This is what happens when you become so out of touch with reality, you think the rules don't apply to you anymore. Netflix's new documentary, The Crash, is not only about what Mackenzie Shirilla did, but also what she didn't do, and all the ways she and her parents helped seal her fate. This case has sent me down a rabbit hole, so buckle up. Those of you who haven't seen it, this case is about Mackenzie Shirilla, who is 17 years old. She's living with her boyfriend of 4 years, 20-year-old Dominic Russo. She's an aspiring model, and she's just graduated high school in Strongsville, Ohio. And about 1 month later, Mackenzie is driving her Toyota Camry back home from a friend's house. In the passenger seat is her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo. And in the back seat is 19-year-old Davian Flanagan, a friend of the couple. Davian was never supposed to be in this car. He was supposed to be at the friend's house, but he decided he wanted to catch a ride home. Mackenzie said no. She refused, but Dominic had an argument with her and finally convinced her to bring Davian home. Surveillance proves Mackenzie's driving the speed limit, using her turn signal. Within seconds, Mackenzie turns onto Progress Drive and floors it until she hits a brick wall. When police arrive to this horrific crash, both Dominic and Davian have passed away. Miraculously, Mackenzie has somehow survived. She's in the hospital, she's alert, and police are here to talk to her. Right away, Mackenzie starts talking to her mom in another language. And she basically is saying, "Can't you just tell them that I had a seizure?" Mackenzie's mom tells the police they're not going to say anything until they get an attorney, and they ask for Mackenzie's phone, and her mom gives it to them. Mackenzie claims she can't remember anything leading up to the accident other than turning down Progress Drive, and then everything goes black. Everyone thinks this is a tragic accident, and even the victims' families feel awful for Mackenzie. But amidst the outpouring of sympathy for Mackenzie, suspicion starts to build. And the first red flag appears within 2 days, starting with Mackenzie's Instagram page, where a brand reaches out and comments on one of her pictures. Now remember, Mackenzie doesn't have her phone, the police have it. But Mackenzie's mother, Natalie Shirilla, forgets that maybe this is in poor taste and comments on the Instagram post anyways, letting the brand know that Mackenzie would love this opportunity and that her daughter's in a lot of pain. She just lost her close friends and she might be in the most pain. Poor taste, to say the least. And even though Mackenzie is in the hospital recovering from a major accident that took the life of her good friend and boyfriend, and the police have her cell phone, she finds a way to comment back on the post as well. Meanwhile, while the entire community is grieving this tragic accident and the loss of these two young boys, police are starting to investigate Mackenzie and her cell phone and her vehicle, as well as the scene of the crime, which happens to not have a single brake mark. No skid marks, nothing. Once they have confirmed there was absolutely nothing wrong with the Toyota Camry that would have caused it to malfunction, they then uncover what the black box has to prove. Mackenzie was going almost 100 miles an hour and never once hit the brake. And her foot on the accelerator, full throttle all the way up until the impact. And cell phone data revealed Mackenzie had driven this obscure road 7 times in the days leading up to the crash. As you can see here, she was able to navigate the turns of this road until her car collided with a brick building across the intersection, which ultimately took the lives of Dominic and Damien. And even more damning evidence against Mackenzie is the fact that Dominic had called his mom 2 weeks before the crash, asking her to come pick him up because Mackenzie was mad and threatening to crash her car with him in it. And while all of this is being uncovered, Mackenzie is not laying low. She's seen at a concert in her wheelchair. She dresses up as a corpse for Halloween. Mind you, this is just 3 months later. And while the prosecution will later use this against her, saying it goes towards her lack of remorse, Mackenzie's parents still fight for her innocence and claim they're the ones who told her to go out and do all these things, to go enjoy and have some fun out of all this tragedy that has happened to her. As far as her toxicology, it shows that Mackenzie was not under the influence of alcohol that night, but she did have some THC, and police found numerous photos and videos of Mackenzie doing rugs and driving. But ask her parents about it, her father says he has no problem. If there's any rugs she's gonna do, it's that one, and he doesn't have a problem with it because he doesn't have a problem with himself doing it. Mind you, look at the shirt that he's wearing. Again, poor taste, to say the least. And now with all this mounting evidence, Mackenzie is arrested on November 4th of 2022. She is charged with double aggravated M. I can't say it because TikTok takes my video down. But anyways, that means she intended to do what she did. And here's where the delusion reaches its peak. Instead of choosing a jury of 12 peers to unanimously convict a 17-year-old girl of this crime, she chooses a bench trial, meaning only the judge will hear her case. When her trial begins, Mackenzie arrives with this phony arm bandage that she didn't seem to need when she was part. Her defense puts on almost nothing, essentially nothing for a defense. No medical expert, no crash data analyst, no teen psychologist, rather just her mom, Natalie, who takes a stand and says Mackenzie suffers from a condition called POTS, which can cause dizziness and fainting, and that's what could have happened because she doesn't remember. With Mackenzie Shirilla as the star witness, it's no surprise the judge calls the crash controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. Guilty on all 12 charges. 15 years to life. Mackenzie is genuinely shocked. And in the back of the courtroom, so are her parents, which tells you everything you need to know about how out of touch and delulu these two are. Not to mention the making of this documentary itself, where we then hear from Mackenzie in prison, and I don't think she does herself any favors. I don't think I'm done here yet. I've got to make a video about Mackenzie Shirilla at the sentencing hearing, who really did the worst she could possibly do for her daughter.